Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Today I have brought up a subject that is related to everyone, and the subject is how to manage personal expenses. So this is basically income expense profile, that how much you have income and how you are managing through the expenses. So I have grouped all your expenses into 8 parts. So each parts, as my experience or I believe that there are something fixed that you cannot avoid, but in some parts you can manage wisely if you are choosing the alternatives or you are collecting the information about the alternatives. So if this time you have not managed it, next time you can consider to avoid or reduce the expenses. So we will go one by one to the all group that I have done earlier. So the first one is food. So in the food you have to summarize this, that is your daily diet, that your income period, like you are earning in monthly basis, so all the expenses to be grouped in 1 month. If you have quarterly or weekly, then you have to manage accordingly. Then week and special diet. Week and special diet, I am saying that you must have a budget that you are going out with friends, family or relatives. So weekend diet, especially friends and family, that you have to consider, that is day out. Then the fourth one is medicine if required on regular basis. This is the part of your food, because some of the medicine that you are taking on daily basis, especially on the elder age. Then the second one is utility bill. Utility bill for the person who is running the family, their major expenses is going in the utility. So here you have to cover electricity, water, LPG, LNG, then telephone and mobile. This is something that in today's era no one can avoid. So whatever the expense that you have to cover through this utility bill, internet, Wi-Fi. These may be sharing, these may be individual. So these expenses to be covered in the utility bill. Then the third one is education, for your kids' education, and if you can save, you may also take a refresher course or something for your career advancement. So these all education here. You also remember that if you are buying a book, you are buying laptop or some writing pad. So these all to be included here, and then you check that how much percentage you are expensing here. The fourth one is security. Security is much more important for every individual, because nobody knows what is in the tomorrow. So in here the most important thing that you make a contingency fund. Earlier it was said that you must have contingency fund of your 3 months income. But nowadays, after the corona, the American managements are advocating that you should have 6-month contingency fund. Here you must take something in consideration, that there is some social contribution. We call it chanda, we call it sharing, we call it contribution. So whatever, so you should have a limitation that how much you can contribute for your social security, because you do not like, because human is a social animal, so he must be a part of the society, and that their contribution must be a number. Then the next one is consumable asset. Consumable asset, whatever I have learned last time, I was making a profile for an accountant, and there when I was making, I learned that there is some percentage, around 10%. Everyone nowadays, people expensing on the consumable asset. So consumable, I can say this here, that some of the jewelry that their prices are reducing every day, especially shoe and uniform and the dress and the coat, at the same time mobile and whatever that you buy, people call in the economics liability, that their value decreasing. So that is to be covered in that column. Then property for the future. To have a secure life, you must have something that you are contributing for your future. Future means when you are not working, or when you are more than 60, That for that period you must have some accumulation to get a respective life. So here I may advise, or this you may once you deposited somewhere, once you taken the loan, or once you have bought the house and you are paying EMI or FD, VC to pay loan from friends and relatives, if invested to buy some lands and some property. So something it is not required depending upon your age. If you are early age, 2% to 5% is more than enough, but in your elder age, like after 40, if you are planning, then lump sum amount is going into that. So this property for the future. And the last I am saying, last I said that you just try that you buy a property rather than to rent a property. So the rent is, this includes all the rent, whether it's a house, car or any utensil. Utensil means that you are taking a loan for a certain period. So these things are utensils. So here the rent. So I am also advising to all of the people that the rent portion you must limit, because whatever happening, that major expenses going on the rent. If we are the part of the GCC countries, here 25% to 30% people are paying their income to house rent and their utility and electricity bill. So these portion to be taken care, that how much you are earning and how much you are just paying just to live. So for the shelter or for the comfortable life, how much you have to sacrifice. Then leisure activity. Every human must have some budget to have a leisure activity to refresh their mind, because whatever you are doing in the day, that is coming together, and your mind getting tired. So to get relief, you must have some leisure activity, or the people saying it, you must have some activity that release dopamine, that make you happy. So here budget, yes, in this budget, if you cannot manage monthly, you make it annually, and you keep this that annual budget, annual income, make it total, and then this much percent I can expend during a year. So the leisure activity can be done on your convenience, either it is monthly or it is yearly. Then the major expense for many of the people whose PIP is contribution, because if you remember in the human psychology, I have said that people have 6 kind of property, and that whose property, whose topmost PIP is contribution for them. This is something that everyone releasing some money to lending someone as a credit. Either it is friend or it is your relatives, but these friends or relatives, how much you can give them. So usually how you are paying them, how you are giving them, how you are sharing them, just because based on their emotion. But just to remember this, your emotion or your relatives emotion not generating money. So to have in your mind the calculation, always you should have a calculation that how much money you can give someone. So here from your expense, whatever the 7 columns you made, 7 rows you have made, and then there is some part that is left. So this one you make it annually, make it quarterly, and then this much amount you can share with your family or your friends, or you can lend them, or you can make a charity. So these are the grouping from my side, that there are 8 groups of your income that is to be calculated by everyone based on their income, and accordingly they should live a comfortable life. So here this one, this is just an example, nothing that what I said 30%, 20%. So this was I have made to someone. So this is I am making just showing you just for example, that you may follow accordingly, that this could be done. So first one is fooding, education, security, these all that we already discussed. But here the percentage will change based on the income and the preference of expense. Like if they have someone having 4 children, so their expense, major expense will go on the education and residence, because they need bigger villa, bigger flat. But if someone who is in the retired person, so there are no expense on this education column. So here this will be 0 or maybe 1%. But this maybe he already earned, So there will be no expense on fooding because that is coming from their own farm. Security, they should continue. So these amount can be go here. Then property for the future they don't need if they are retired, but if you are in younger age, you must have better portion for the future. Then the rent, better future means not major percentage, maybe 5%, 10% is enough because you have 40 years to save this money. Then rent and utility bill, that is compulsory, but in my opinion there must be a figure in your mind that how much money you can take a flat on rent, how much money you can invest here, you can expend here. So that's all. I would also request you all that when you watch, you just try, you exercise in yourself that this much is your income and this much you are paying to somewhere. At end of this, you are in negative or you are positive. Your feedback most welcome. Actually, I am asking you to write feedback on this, that I wanted to the new fact that what I am not considered here, what I have not considered here. That's all. Thank you very much.